I told y'all I was thinking Thieves. I predicted them to go back to back and win the Call of Duty championships. And majority of you guys were absolutely cooking me, saying I was biased. Lucky for you though, I'm not gonna say I told you so. In today's video, we're actually gonna go back and see how LAT won CoD Champs, what went right for them, what they fixed, and just how dominant they were at this event. So when it comes to the hard points, one of the biggest factors for LAT's success was just their overall pacing. They had the best pacing in the entire game out of every team. They had the best trades in the game out of every team, and just their resiliency. As you could see in this map, this is the very first map of the finals. They were getting bullied off rip. They were down 60-9 going into the P3 hill. But just watch how LAT do this. There's going to be two parts to this. So as you can see on the mini map right here, you have Envoy and Drazah. Now, obviously, yeah, they're just rotating. They're getting control of a power spot. You know, this is something that is very basic. But look at how close they are together and how they're playing off one another. Envoy knows that he's the front man in line. Drazah is able to go low. Envoy gets picked. He gets picked. But because of where Drazah is at, right? Drazah could have been sitting in the hill because the hill's about to pop. He could have been like pushing around mid steps, whatever the case may be. But they understand the areas of the map where they need to control. So Envoy gets a little bit unlucky, right? He gets bad timing. But Drazah is able to put himself in a good position. And he gets one, almost gets gunned. Even though he dies right here, he gets one and he gives his team time. They're controlling the parts of the map that they need to get. You obviously have Kenny, who he was watching old. He gets a free kill. But here is the more important aspect of this. So right now, LAT has zero control. They have zero control. They obviously have the hill, but you don't ever want to be in this situation. Now, this hill on Gavutu is kind of easy to hold for sure. But when you're getting trapped, it can be very hard. It can be very hard to really get any sort of time on this hill. So you have Octane, who he knows that he's by himself. He's playing his life. And just watch this. Watch their setup. LAT know that they do not have a timing. They don't have an opening, right? Everyone on Atlanta phases up. You can see they're all by ring. So they're not being super aggressive. You have Drazah, who's number 2 on the mini map, just watching the mid pinch. And then look at the other three. Look at their spacing between each other. They're making it so any gunfight that happens is going to be tradable. That's exactly what happens. Celium gets a nade kill on Kenny, whatever. Envoy gets one, he goes down. Well, he gets 2, goes down. But because of where they're at on the map, Sam's able to stay alive. They basically took all the pressure off of him. And then look, Drazah is right there to get the trade. He doesn't even need to get the trade. He actually gets the other kill on Celium, who's, you know, deep beach trying to get the angle on Sam. But something as little as that, no one on LAT threw their life away. They played very ratty, very structured around the hill. This next clip just goes to show again how in sync LAT were, not only in this series, this whole event, but also the last 2 events. So many other teams, right, trying to break this hill, they'll try and do too much. Okay, they'll try to hit multiple lanes at once, basically play one-on-one situations, which it's a 50-50 gunfight when you do that. You spread your team too thin. Watch LAT. So they're obviously spawning, not where you want to be spawning off rip, but watch how they wait. No surprise there. Okay, they all are waiting for Envoy and Ken to come up off spawn, and they're just sitting. And then they're going to coordinate their nades. You're going to see stuns and nades come in. They're weakening the guys on the hill. They're getting freebies. As you can see, number 5 Simp, he was trying to play this angle over on beachside. He got caught off guard. And look at everyone else on LAT. Everyone else. Abizi also died in the back of the hill. And they just flood in. Look at this. And then they just go. Now, they don't get a clean wipe here, but they're able to make this hill mixy. This was the beginning of the hill. There was 40-something seconds left on this hill. Atlanta phase, if they got that wave of kills, they could have got some nice time. Kenny goes big. He ends up getting a 2-piece. But then what they do, they just make it so it is very trade heavy in their favor. Obviously, there was a little team nade that happened right before this. But do you see how once they get it, so it's a, you know, 2-on-2, 3-on-2 situation where people are just dying and spawning up. Their job right now is to just make it as chaotic as they possibly can on the map, and they're doing a good job of it because they know that Atlanta FaZe does not have a good spawn and they're kind of trapped. So as they're able to get this 20-second scrap, you obviously already have Drazah picking up the only angle he needs to watch. That's the only lane because Atlanta FaZe is spawning in this back beach. If they want to get out of the trap, you have to kind of go that route or just somehow play straight bully ball. But teams, you know, it's very hard to do. So not only were LAT able to break that, not get stuck in the cycle of spawns, giving Atlanta FaZe a nice hold, they're able to make it mixy, contest, even get some of that time while keeping complete control of the map. And this is really where the turnaround was. And this is another reason why LAT were so dominant in hardpoint. A lot of it, I mean, all four of their players. But when you have Kenny, you understand that when he fully understands the game, he is going to be the playmaker on this team. But it's not just him. Watch how Kenny decides to take this route, because they all know that Atlanta FaZe is going to be on this top right hand of the minimap. Kenny is going to pinch this to try and get free kills in the back, also relieve some of the pressure. But the rest of his team, they're playing their lives. They're not over-challenging as well and dying out of hill. They're letting Kenny make the play. Kenny is the guy who's making the play. Once he gets a kill or dies, like, you play off of his contact. And so what happens, he slides out, gets a kill. Now, the rest of the players on the team understand that even if Kenny dies, getting that one kill was huge, because not only did he get info, okay, now the rest of the players on Atlanta FaZe have to look at him, and that's where they can poke out and get their trades. OAKBOYZ shooting pretty well right here, but it doesn't really matter. So little things like that, where when a play is being made by someone on LAT, everyone else understands the assignment. They understand that they gotta play their life and not overchow. Moving on to the SND. So it was pretty back and forth on Berlin. And this is just another great example of LAT's teamwork, their understanding of how to play off one another. You can see that this is a B push for Atlanta FaZe. Okay, you have Octane and Envoy playing this low bow area right here on the minimap. Now, Sam actually gets pretty unfortunate timing here in a second. But the more important thing is if you look at the minimap, I know it's kind of hard to see. Envoy isn't just like peeking out, okay, on this like far dock side. He's not trying to look for another kill. He's staying around Sam. So Envoy was just previously in the bomb site. They were able to, you know, tag each other up. He runs out, plays his life, and then now look. So Sam literally tries to slide away as OAKBOYZ comes out. Envoy's right there though, bait and switch. He gets the first kill. He gets the first kill. It's now 4v3. You can see everyone else on the minimap. You have Kenny, who's trying to pick up the mid street. Drazah is watching to see if there's anyone watching the flank, which there is. RCD's all the way at the bottom side of the minimap, but they don't get too aggressive because they understand that Atlanta FaZe is trying to work B. Envoy and Octane are playing perfectly off one another. They're just playing their life. They're trying to see if they can get another freebie. They get info. Even though he doesn't get a kill, they get info. Envoy slides back. You see how no one is overextending themselves on this team right now. So Drazah actually sniffs RCDs out, by the way, on the flank, as you can see. But more importantly, let me rewind, sorry. Simp really can't afford to get aggressive here, because if he does, Celium can't trade his kill. Celium's the one watching mid-street. And when he finally does try and get timing, Kenny was able to reposition, get the kill. And Drazah, he's giving the info to his team that RCDs is pinching. You're going to see it in a second. Kenny realizes it. Kenny's is literally looking for him. Kind of bad COD timing, but he is going to get sniffed down. You can see, just look at how patient LAT are. It's a 4v2, okay? One of them could have easily just got a little too antsy, peeked a little too much and died. But no, they know the bomb's down. And look at Octane and Envoy on the map right now. They're just waiting. RCs goes down to freebie, and they're all around each other. It was beautiful because their S&D was some of the worst shit I've ever seen early in the year, and they just completely transformed into a dominant S&D team. just being able to play off one another, be creative, and let the game come to them more. And this might have been my favorite round of the Berlin SND. So LAT, they're working B-bomb. Kenny loses a gunfight and gets blooded. Okay, but just watch how LAT play this. So they get the bomb down B, but they're in a 3v4 scenario, right? Once again, Phil Jackson's triangle offense. You have Drazah in the back. He's trying to watch the flank. Envoy just playing the bomb. He's playing around the bomb. And then Octane is watching the street. Now, they're relying off of info. And this is what happens. No one is overly peeking. Okay, Draz is able to get the kill on Simp, get info. He dies. They're now in a 2v3. But because LAT are about to do what they do, Atlanta FaZe has such a small percentage chance to actually win this round. So it's very common when you plant on B-bomb on this site for the other team to try and retake it. They're going to flank because most of the time teams on offense are playing in this back garage area. Okay, they're playing on the roof, whatever the case may be. But because of the info that Draz was able to get and the fact that he was able to get one, watch how Octane and Envoy approach this. Octane realizes, which I can't believe he was not doing this when I was playing with him. He realizes, hey, I don't see anyone on the street. They're probably pinching, which two of them are. And just look at how far away Atlanta FaZe is from each other. You have RCDs trying to go all the way around. You have number 6, OAKBOYZ, trying to see if there's anyone in post. And then you have Celium just watching, like he's just kind of playing that anchor role. So Octane pushes out, okay? He's able to get away for a second. And that's everything. Now they get the info that he's there, but Envoy isn't trying to play aggressive with Octane. Like, he's not trying to get this kill. All he needs is the info, which is what he gets. Sam, if he would have stayed where he was at, he was dead. But he gets away. He repositions, like Miles said. There's only 17 seconds on the clock now. So even though Celium makes a huge read, it gives Envoy a chance to clutch. And the thing is look at how spread Atlanta FaZe is because of that. Like I said, Envoy and Octane were on the same page. Octane realized I had to reposition because Dylan or Envoy is on the bomb. He's playing the bomb site. Atlanta FaZe is so far away from each other. All he has to do is kill the guy off the bomb, which is what he does. RCDs and Celium, they're still looking for him. They have no idea where he could be at. They just made it very hard for Atlanta FaZe to get those kills to retake. It was a masterclass of a round, especially out of Envoy and Sam. Even though Sam didn't get a kill, it didn't matter. Now, this is the last hard point of the series on Tuscan. And honestly, Atlanta FaZe, similarly to the Gavutu, they started out hot. But this just goes back to what I was saying on how LAT really, they're not overthinking the situations. And what they do is they make multiple players on the other team useless. Okay, they just play very patient on their breaks. Okay, they time their grenades, they're in sync, and they get their trades. So as you can see on the mini map right here, well, before we get into the mini map, Atlanta FaZe is still up 75-53. So they have a little bit of a lead. LAT, like I said, started out really slow, but watch how they approach this. So Envoy gets shot in the back by OAKBOYZ. OAKBOYZ was able to pinch him, and he goes from top church to this mid lane, this mid alley area right here. But look at everyone on Atlanta FaZe. So you have number 5 in the hill. He's just playing that close like bookshelf. You have RCD's number 7. He's basically watching over the hill. And then you have Celium all the way in their spawn trying to watch the pinch, or if someone is going around for spawns. But LAT, they're not about that. They basically just group up bottom church and they trade out. That's it. I mean, Kenny goes big right here, but like, look at where Atlanta FaZe is at. Kenny slides in. You have RCDs not in a position to trade. Simp, who's obviously got caught off guard because he was looking top church, even though OAKBOYZ had already got a kill up there. So that's a little bit of COD timing, or maybe miscommunication. I don't know. OAKBOYZ, who got the kill on Envoy, he's mid alley, and at first he was like looking to see if anyone was pushing through this P2 area. And you have Celium all the way in the back of their spawn watching that. So Kenny slides in, gets the kill. Well, he doesn't get it. Octane gets the nade kill because they had some weird nades on this. I don't know. I think they were throwing them bitches right through the top of church. I don't know. But they basically just all slide in. So by the time a BZ can try and get Sims trade, he goes down. And look, that went from a 3v4 break that was in Atlanta's complete control, complete favor. They make it into a 3v2, and Atlanta FaZe just isn't close enough to trade. You look at the minimap, LAT's all on top of each other's cocks. They get their trades, they break right through, and this could have been a money hill for Atlanta FaZe to really get a good lead going into the rest of the game. Look at how LAT are approaching this hill. So they had rotation, they're up by about 20 points. They have everything covered. No one is doing too much. And then on the side of Atlanta FaZe, like, look, if this was LAT, if LAT were breaking this, they would group up, okay, time their grenades, make someone on LAT useless. So like right here, you could make Kenny useless essentially if Arcides waited for his team, then the rest of them worked through mid, and they pushed through mid as he pushed arches. They focused on this left side of the hill. Okay, they could have made realistically Drazah and Kenny useless, but instead look at how they approach this. Arcides tries to take a gunfight by himself. Well, look, he was shooting at Octane. Octane stays alive, bait and switch. Envoy comes out, gets the trade. And then you have Simp and Abizi trying to hit through mid cut, but you're already down a man, so you're already at the disadvantage. And Celium, once again, is in no man's land.
All things covered. He's
like looking for a guy in church, thinking that there could be a guy lurking church. LAT making someone on Atlanta FaZe useless. And then they run into a blender. And this is huge because now they're just able to get so much free time off rip and then take control. You see, once they got those kills, Kenny now is pushed in the church. He's trying to play a timing. Even though he dies, he's able to push up, get all that info for LAT. And this was the final hill of this Tuscan. Atlanta FaZe actually has the lead. Once again, though, absolute masterclass in terms of teamwork and just the way that they played this hill. So you can see on the minimap, you have Octane watching the flank, watching to see if anyone on Atlanta FaZe is going to take a long route, try and pinch him out. You have Drazah in the hill. Envoy is able to be pushed up into this corner on the screen that you can see. I know my webcam is kind of blocking it, but so they know that the majority of the players are going to be coming through this direction. Kenny also in the hill with Drazah. So Envoy gets this kill, okay, and he's now not sliding out, pushing through the patio, whatever it's called. He's just playing his life. He did his job already. He got one. Now he's waiting for Atlanta FaZe to make the play. But because they got the info as well, you can see Drazah now pushes up. He can play this close corner and they can play crossfires. And that's exactly what is going to happen. So Envoy is able to get another kill on Arcides. And then look, Drazah is right there. Celium is playing streaks right now, which it wasn't the reason why they lost. But I really think it just made Atlanta FaZe very stagnant on this break. And also a big reason was because of just how well LAT played it. But the more important thing is not only were they able to get the kills, they were able to get the kills, and now LAT can take advantage of that. They can capitalize on that. And that's exactly what you see Envoy do. So once they get some breathing room, even though Drazah goes down, Envoy's there. Obviously, it's a little mixy. He's being annoying, okay? Kenny is now able to be in a situation to trade in his position. Envoy is just being like, look at how aggressive LAT were right here. Envoy didn't throw his life away. He's sliding back and forth. He's throwing shoulders. He's not dying, giving the rest of the players time to push up, and then they just push him out. They push him out. Their trades are on point. I have to rewind that one more time. Look at the minimap. Look at the minimap and just watch. I'm not even going to say anything. Just watch the difference between LAT and Atlanta FaZe.
To come through, but right now you're just losing all of this hill time. At least he gets the glide, but look at that. 4 down for LA. They're just gonna win it here. They're gonna win it here, baby.
Atlanta FaZe just gave LAT basically one-on-ones when LAT always had a man in position to trade each other out. It's like, it's common sense. And then once they get a couple kills, I'll let this play out since it's about to happen. Once they get a couple kills, they're able to play aggressive and really take control of the map. I mean, I could cry with how well they played, not only in Hardpoint, not only in SD, not only in Control, just as a team. LAT was the only team at Champs that truly played consistent, disciplined team game. And they capitalized on every other team's mistakes, and there were so many of them. Look, chef's kiss, Octane's talking about. Because they know that they're so far ahead. Well, they already knew that they were so far ahead, not. They didn't just find that out in this Tuscan Hardpoint. But that is the reason why LAT was able to go back-to-back, win CoD Champs. It was all down to their teamwork. They obviously have unbelievable talented players on their team, but so do a lot of other teams. The only difference is LAT was the one team that truly played like a team, and it showed. They deserve back-to-back Call of Duty champions. They got rings. I'm jealous, but I'm happy for my boys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all.